Welcome to the
All right.
Vision Profiles podcast. Join us, dedicated Apple Vision Pro users, as we dive into everything from hardware and software to apps and the latest updates in the world of Apple Vision Pro. I'm Marty Gencius, a faculty member at a Midwestern University and a podcaster and also an Apple product fan.
Oh, and I'm Eric Bolden, who's just woken up, evidently, because I've been spending the last several hours trying to update everything. I work with IT, but my interest is in finding interesting ways to share content. Currently, photography of birds and plants and rocks, evidently, and panoramic sequences.
I'm Daniel Burkholder, a software engineer and technologist currently interested in generative AI and AR/VR technologies.
And I'm Dave Ginsburg, the host of the In Touch with iOS podcast. I'm very passionate about technology, especially Apple, and use it in real-world experience as a 27-year IT professional and iPhone subject matter expert. I learn things about the Vision Pro every day.
Well, guys, it's been kind of a wild week. Everybody has been in different places. Dave, you did some traveling.
I did. I literally just got back like 30 minutes ago. That's my dedication to this podcast, I tell you. I went to Las Vegas, like a pre-celebration of my birthday. So I was with family, and we had a really great time, and got to a lot of sports and a little bit of horse racing betting in the sports book, and played a little slots here and there. But overall, it was a real good time. Good to get away, and I always enjoy being in Vegas. It's a great place.
Dare I ask you, did you at least break even?
I didn't do too bad. I actually bet the Bears, and I bet the Denver Broncos, and those both won. So
okay.
I got lucky on football on Sunday. Saturday, not so much. The races didn't go so well, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Didn't go crazy. I just enjoy being there and hanging out and doing all kinds of fun stuff. And as far as technology goes, I mean, I was on the plane and used my iPad. It worked flawlessly. I tell you, the internet has just become so much better on the airplanes now. I flew American Airlines, and one thing I have is which is amazing with T-Mobile. I've got the free texting and emails and stuff for on your iPhone. At least it has to be linked to your T-Mobile account. So I couldn't do it on my iPad, but so I was able to get stay in communication with texts and emails. Not too much on the streaming stuff. You can buy it was like for the Vegas flight, which was like 3.5, 4 hours. It's like $26 for the flight. I don't need to spend that kind of money. As long as I can text and stuff, and downloading videos. I wanted to watch some shows, so I broke it up with Apple TV and Paramount Plus and Peacock, and it's like a bunch of shows I like to watch. And of course, I was looking for a show that I wanted to download, and I did download in season 1 instead of season 3. I'm like, crap, I can't watch that and can't download it. Forget it. Yeah. So I still, one of these days, I'm going to take my Vision Pro on a trip. It's just hard for me lugging that around traveling because you got to keep. I wouldn't want to leave it loose in my backpack, and I worry about breaking it, and then that case even the other case I have, I think it's a Belkin. I forgot who makes that big case, but it's just so bulky. All the other stuff I could keep with me. So, but no, overall great trip, and technology worked really, really well. Even the hotel had great high Wi-Fi. Used my MacBook Air a little bit as well. And when I was at the sports book, got to place bets right on the iPad, and the technology really has come a long way when it comes to that stuff. So,
yeah. Did you become de facto tech support for everybody in your family that was out there?
Not really. No, they were okay. I think mostly the phone. Of course, I have to be my wife's. I have to bring all the needs for technology, like the power cords and the actual cords. She brought her AirPods Max, and of course didn't have a lightning. She has the lightning one, so didn't have a lightning plug. Like, okay, there it is. I got that one. Then her Apple Watch, and then her iPhone. So she's kind of like me. She's bringing all the stuff with her, so which is kind of cool. But Yeah, and then these hotels. I mean, my God, I ended up getting a suite. I shouldn't probably say too much about that, but they offered maybe an offer I couldn't refuse, so it was really nice. I mean, it was really nice. It's more like a living room and a bedroom and a big bathroom with a jacuzzi tub, which I didn't even use, but that's okay. And a little kitchenette, but for in a Vegas hotel, it's that's a lot because these rooms can be kind of small, but it was just crazy times with the room and the technology, keeping her up to date and making sure she got things going. But she uses her iPhone so much that the battery runs out all the time. So
Yeah. Well, Gary Witt, talk about kind of a inverse universe. Gary Witt is watching this stream on a plane right now using
all right, Gary.
free Starlink internet. He's using Starlink. So
I
just
forgot which one American is on. Very close. Different.
Yeah. Just amazing to think that we're on a flight somewhere. Gary, turn the volume up really loud so everybody around you can hear you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout bomb real loud.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Sorry, Gary. Hopefully he's got headphones on. Also, anything else new with you, Daniel or Eric? Anything earth-shattering?
No, nothing in particular, really. Just same old, really, for the most part.
Yeah. Fan mail. We got fan mail.
Wow.
And this comes from David Hudak. Sent me an email that said, I just discovered your terrific podcast a couple of weeks ago. Thanks to you and your co-hosts for content. I really enjoy it. I know that you take questions during the live stream, as I laughed out loud at the Statler and Waldorf. Statler and Waldorf was somebody signed in with that name. Reference last week. I loved the Muppet Show as a kid. Do you take email questions? I hope so, because Eric mentioned in a post last week that you could improve your Vision Pro performance by doing a full reinstall. And this is kind of the gist of, I referred to it as a nuke and pave for devices. I've nuked and paved many of my Mac OS devices and laptops over the years. I've had my Vision Pro for about 15 months and I don't have a dev strap, so I figure that option is not open to me right now. I've just been installing updates, and they've been incrementally released. How does Nuke and Pave, or why does Nuke and Pave help for the Vision Pro? I don't know of that being necessary for iPhones or iPads. So is it just because the platform's new? I'll take any answers on that one. I will tell you, my Nuke and Pave happened when I was trying to install version 2 of the OS. And when I attempted to do that, it got hung up. And then I had to go into the system and just do a full system reset to clear everything out. So I lost all the apps that I had, and I had to, and for me, what it did was it cleared out the 250 or so or more apps that I had in page after page after page. With the new M5, I didn't decide to set it up as a mirror of the M2. I just decided to set it up separately. So I only have like 2 pages of apps now, and that's really nice. So I don't know if it helped the process, but for me, it just happened by accident. Guys, do you have any comment on restarts or, clearing the device?
Other than everybody knows my experience from when mine failed during a beta update and I had to bring it in the Apple Store. I have not done a system restore on the Vision Pro just yet. I mean, the system restore shouldn't be so hard, I wouldn't think. The OS is already there. I mean, it works the same way as it does on an iPhone or an iPad or an Apple Watch or even an Apple TV, any Apple device, basically, or Mac as well. I mean, I think we are more experienced of doing a nuke and pave on a Mac more than anything else. I mean, yeah, you could do it on an iPhone or iPad. I don't think it's as needed for the most part. I mean, I haven't had any problems over all the years that I've used an iPad or an iPhone that I've had to do that. I mean, because you want to be able to restore, like you said, Marty, you lose all your apps, and you got to set everything up all from scratch. I mean, it's such a nuisance, especially on a Mac too. When I did it once, I'm printing out a whole long list of all the apps I have on my Mac now, and luckily, I mean, my M1 MacBook Pro sitting here next to me, I had to go to my Mac Mini, or I'm using my Mac Mini as my primary device right now, which is actually not bad because it is a fast machine. It's an M4. But it was actually M4 Pro. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I don't know with the Vision Pro. I mean, I don't think if you guys have heard anything that a lot of people do it. It's just such a new device. I just don't know why you would need to do it unless it's really bad.
Eric, do you have anything on that,
Yeah.
or Daniel?
For me, it's mostly been for people who have had the device since the beginning. So they had the original version of the OS, and they've been updating and updating and updating, and have been trying lots of different software. So they've thrown piles of stuff on the system. I mean, if your Vision Pro is working well now, you're not really having any issues. You don't install hundreds of software package options. You're not constantly running out of memory, and you aren't having any other issues. Then you're fine. However, if you have hit some weird oddities, you've had the OS since the original one, have just updated it. Potentially, it clears up some issues. You can do some things manually, like when you, with the later versions of the OS, you rebuild your persona, and that gets better. You don't have to rebuild the whole device for that. If you're not using lots and lots of different software, it's less of an issue. I think with me, part of the problem is every week I install 3 or 4 new apps and try them out, and it's just has built up a lot. And I've transferred lots of images. I mean, running out of space is actually an issue for me. I already had once or twice where I had to rebuild it. But then for a while, when I was sharing the device, I would do a regular wipe. What is it? It's in preferences, transfer reset, and then I would erase all my content and settings, and it would clear the device out. It would just treat it as a brand new device. I don't suggest doing that as just a standard thing, because as David said, you then have to rebuild the whole thing. You would want to make sure that maybe you have a backup of all of your stuff. So yeah, it's if you just want kind of clearing everything out and starting over from scratch, yes, it's doable. You don't need the developer strap for that. The times when we've needed the developer strap, it's when the machine has failed during an update and there was nothing we could do, and then you still don't need a developer strap. You just have to be able to find an Apple store.
Yeah.
Right.
Danielle, anything to add on that? You think we covered it?
No, I think you got it. And I'll just say I'm firmly in the camp of when I get a new one, I'm always set it up as new. You just
Yeah.
never know
Yes.
what random things like you've installed over time, and it's just so much better to start fresh.
Yeah,
Right.
I get a new one probably more than I used to. When I would, hold on to a device for an extended period of time, I would wind up occasionally doing a annual or every other year nuke and pave, just because I wanted to get rid of the stuff that I wasn't using. Now, if I get a new device and I upgrade every time there's an upgrade, what I'll do is I will open up the applications page and do screenshots of the applications, drop them in notes, and then when I start the new device and open up notes on there and sync that, all of the ones that I have on the old machine are there, and I can go, I don't even know what this app is. I'm not going to load it again. or try to find it because it just doesn't. So it decreases the number of apps that I have, and that's for me. That happens. That happens with Vision Pro. Like Eric says, we're adding 3 or 4 apps a week, playing around with stuff or trying to get ready for shows, things like that. So it gets pretty full pretty quick. But thank you, Dave, from Columbus, Ohio. He's just a shout away from where I live. And thanks for listening. And but no beta today. I guess no developer beta today. Right, Eric?
Yes, but more importantly, we got the release of 26.1. So those of us who did not want to run the beta finally get all the features.
Those of us who run the beta, that's old news.
The cool kids.
Yeah, I'm hoping next week we'll have a 26.1 or 26.1.1 or something. Some addition for the developers, beginning of 26.2, so we can go off in our merry way and leave all you snowflakes behind. Anyways, the discussion and the argument continues about what's better, the M5 or the M2? Is it that much better? Let's just start with that. There have been more reviews on the M5. I'll tell you, Marquise Brownlee just did a nastiest, the day it came out. But some of the other reviews have been positive. My experience with it has been positive too. So we have reviews from The Verge, and these just came out this week. We have also one from Mac Rumors, testing the new M5 Apple Vision Pro with some video on it. What I find ironic about the picture in this, do you notice this picture? Anything about the picture?
With under Mac Rumors?
Yeah, with the Mac Rumors article.
Is it the original M2 one? They just changed, like in the edit, they just put M5 instead because they didn't use the new band.
They didn't use the new band. This.
So it's probably the original assets from when
which
they made
Mac
their first
Rumors
video.
does. They really save it cheap on the photography portion of things. So yeah. Then Engadget has its own article. It's a better beta, but it's still a beta, according to Engadget. And then finally, Apple has improved the Vision Pro, but its days could be numbered. I had to put that article in. This comes from hardwarezone.com. And it talked about the same kind of complaints that we have or that we've heard before about it.
Their days can be numbered. Oh, yeah. That makes me scared.
I know. Boy, every evidence that I see says that the days are going to be numbered with it.
Just like we always say, Apple is doomed.
Yeah, I feel a bit guilty about even giving that a click to get to that article.
Especially when it has a pop-up or ad before you even get to it.
Was there any of them that said like Steve Jobs would have never allowed this as well? Like we're missing the trifecta of meme phrases people use around any Apple product.
Yeah. I love the title for the Verge article. Apple's Vision Pro with M5 is better than the first, but it's still awfully lonely.
Now, it has been interesting because of the Samsung device.
Yeah.
So there have been comparisons between the M2 and the M4 version of the Apple Vision Pro and the Samsung device, and kind of going back and forth between all of them, and that has been useful. I think, if nothing else, the Samsung device gave them something to compare to.
Yeah, we've got some articles on side-by-side comparison and some straight reviews of the Samsung device. the freaky, scary stuff about when the Samsung device came out, and you've probably seen this, and there are a lot of articles that have the charts where they lay it right next to each other. It was compared in that chart to the M5, and all the specs on Samsung lined up, as well as in a few specs better than the M5. And there was M2 was old news at that point, because Samsung had already matched the M5 or surpassed it. So I can tell you my experience with the M5 or with the Galaxy when we get to it, the Galaxy XR. So far so good. I am enjoying the only one that I'm wearing right now is the M5. I have to put the M2 back on to kind of see if I feel any sluggishness as a result of it. But it really is moving quite quickly, quite briskly. There seems to be a clarity in it, and that just might be, in psychology we have this thing called the Hawthorne Effect, that if it was based on chickens, Eric, you should know this. You should know this. You're the chicken expert. If they changed if chickens weren't laying, they would change the lighting in the hen house and switch the lights on and off or start it at a different time. And it's the net effect of having something new that then changes the behavior. So my concern is that my love for the M5 is just the Hawthorne effect, and that it's a new shiny object, and I'm putting more into it than is really there in terms of it. And it hasn't improved me laying eggs. So,
wow, that is disappointing. Yeah, I have to say that the thing I've most enjoyed about the M5 reviews coming out is that the M2 is still a plenty viable headset.
Yeah.
I think we might notice more differences next year and after developer conference, but at the moment, some things are sped up, and if you do that a lot, that makes a huge difference. Other things, it takes a little bit longer, but not enough. And for people who don't want to spend as much money, a used M2, it's still holding its value. It didn't drop as much as I kind of had hoped maybe it would, but a used M2 still is a very usable device. However, if you're running through and trying to convert a bunch of two-dimensional pictures into 3D depth images, there definitely is a big speed difference between the two.
Yeah. Or if you want to put 17 widgets on your wall, then there's a speed difference.
Yeah. So Marty, I'll be curious if you try and convert a bunch of different pictures and then switch to your other device and then do something similar, as well as widgets on the wall, if you notice it more now that it just works.
Yeah, and ironically, this week I was pulled out to a nature preserve and actually shot some photos of birds.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Took a picture?
I'm not kidding you. And I thought Eric would be so proud of me with my 17 Pro Max. And so, I will try and do some conversion. And I shot them in spatial and not spatial. And we'll try and play around with that as soon as they show up in my synced library.
And for the pictures that you shot in spatial, convert them a second time.
Okay.
So look at the picture first, and then swivel your head back and forth a little bit, because there's like a parallax problem where the image shifts around a bit. Then click the convert button, and then move your head, and it corrects for that parallax.
I love it when you
it gives you a better picture. Yeah, it's
he
great.
He talks
it is
dirty.
well worth it. Yeah. Just play with the button.
I was going to go into a whole discussion of safe words, but with Eric, but we won't go there.
Don't make him spit.
Yeah, please don't make him spit. So yeah, reviews on the Samsung. I got to tell you, Tom's Guide,
Your favorite?
one of our favorites for. I imagine Tom's Guide is being written by grumpy old men. You don't need that newfangled piece of equipment. Who needs it? A tin can and a string was good enough for me. So yeah, they did a review. Some performance issues and bugs. Eye hand tracking is not as seamless as the Vision Pro. Limited apps and no widgets. Occasional fan noise. I did notice that. And a lackluster 3D movie selection. I haven't gone into that area. Basically, and some of the things that they have that I'm not wild about, that they say are pros, are it's integrated with Gemini Live, but also much cheaper than the Vision Pro. Compelling immersion photos. They don't call it spatial photography. They call it immersion photography. They're being careful about not using that word because I think their photography is being produced in a different way that gives you the effect, but without the what we see with spatial. Supports YouTube and Netflix. I have not been able to get my Netflix to work on it because it has me go through my Samsung account, and I can't unlink that. Yeah, I know, it's horrible. And so I keep trying to load it, and it doesn't work. So I haven't gotten the benefits of Netflix, but I have gotten the benefits of YouTube with it.
I guess my question is this is something you definitely want to keep?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it.
Okay.
Well, you should see the crap that's in my closet that I keep. To be honest with you, over the year, I bought so many of the adjustable headband things that after this the new one that Apple put out, the dual knit, it's like, and you and I just bought the Hover, Dave, like a week before the dual band came out.
Which I still haven't tried yet.
And the Anapro, my people love the Anapro. Daniel, I don't know if there are any head frames or head adjustment things that you use other than, do you use the Belkin strap across the top or?
I would only use
the Belkin.
Right.
Yeah, I would only use the Anapro. I wouldn't mind getting the Belkin, but now that the dual strap exists, I'll probably just get one of those, which I still need to get one. But I'm surprised you got one of the Galaxies, Marty. That was very surprising.
Yeah, I was too.
So I've been the
ahead,
summary Dave. In my mind, how I've been seeing all the Galaxy XR reviews in my mind. It's how I've summed it up is. It's half the price, and it's half as good in every dimension. Physical, software, hardware, everything. How on the ball do you think I am or how in the orbit do you think I am in that impression of what I've just everything I've been reading and
I would disagree with you on the hardware. I think it is 100% as good as the hardware in the M5. The optics and the processor, I think, are just as good. They line up pretty well. Here's where this is kind of my new take on it this week. The reviews have been saying it's buggy. The complaints about the hand tracking, I notice that because I can see my fingers and then see the glove that isn't quite on my fingers, and I don't know which one is going to activate what I want it to do. But let me take a shot at this. I think folks who use Android, are more willing to accept the bugs.
Yeah.
They're less complainy. Apple tries to get it perfect, and I don't think Android tries to get it perfect. It just has to be functional. And for a person who's making a decision between a M5 Apple, if they're in the Android and Galaxy and Google kind of ecosphere, that they've already bought into an ecosphere that has kind of glitches in it, doesn't run as smoothly in a lot of cases, has error functions in it. And so this is amazing to them with that standard. And there will be people on the edge who will complain about it, and we'll say more and more. For the general user, this is a wow experience at half the price.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think that also aligns with my worldview of the of it. I mean, I think you're right in that in many respects. Yeah, I think I just eventually need to get my hands on one, and I mean, I want to at some point too. Especially, I want to try out the. I want to see how their light shield works. I really like that light shield design. That's something I think Apple could learn from. I actually, frankly, I almost want to lop mine in half to like ghetto DIY my own version of that.
So here's the thing with that. And not knowing, and of course not having any particular directions that came with it. And if there were directions, I didn't see them, or I wouldn't have followed them anyways. It comes with like a pad that kind of magnetically snaps in, but it also comes with two spacers, a thin spacer and a wide spacer, sort of like what you get with the sealing, the sealant or in Apple Vision Pro. So I put it on with the widest because, I have a big head. And there was so much light leakage around it, I thought, oh, well, let me try something different here. So I took that off. I put the thin, piece in, and I still had light leakage. And I'm like, this is kind of crazy. Maybe there are people who don't. There are people who like kind of going free with and having that space because it's better for their optics, and better for their field of view. But I don't like all that open stuff. So until I realized I could just take the spacers completely out and just put the pad in, once I did that, my eyeballs were literally up to the lenses. And I got and I had a closed light seal, and I had a much better field of view, almost to where my eyelashes felt like they were going to hit the lenses in front of me. And so that I had to do by trial and error. And I saw a couple of posts on Reddit complaining about the same issue, and I kind of said you really need to play with the spacer or use no spacer whatsoever in order for it to work. So it's a little different bit of a system. But that's not why we call this show Vision Profiles, is it?
No.
So I've got two questions. One is so the horizontal field of view, the numbers look like it's not as good as in the Vision Pro, but the vertical field of view is supposedly better. So it's supposed to feel more immersive, but I don't know if it really does. So I'm curious about that. And the second one is if you create content with your camera for the Vision Pro, can you convert it or transfer it in a way that lets the Galaxy XR view it so that you could have something visible in both systems?
To the first question, I'll kind of render an opinion. The optics in Vision Pro are more oval, and more like eye-shaped, whereas the
Okay.
optics in the Galaxy are circular. So that's where you might get the sense of a greater up and down field of view because your optics are circular. That's my sense of it. I haven't taken one off and put one on and done it. It goes on and then it comes off and then I go have lunch. So I'm not product testing it as comparative as I could be. I don't know about the video. I don't know. You can do anything, I guess, if it's in RAW, but I don't know about the transferability of media from one to the other, particularly since the way they're referring to it is immersive. They're not referring to it as spatial. And so I wonder if there's something in the data, in the optics that in the media that won't translate. So
if you take a 2D image and send it to it, can it do the conversion to 3D like in the Vision Pro?
I don't know. I mean, they don't have the tool sets like the apps that we have available to us in Vision Pro. If you want to do that, you want to solve that problem in Vision Pro, there's probably about 4 or 5 apps that you know of that can do that. I don't see the plethora of optical editing apps in there. They're doing some things with Adobe, which the demo, if you saw the demo, they have Adobe doing some, they're working with Adobe to do the kind of spatial aspects for Adobe to kind of create the spatial aspects of whatever video you put in or whatever stills that you put in to be able to do that. But I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, yeah. Just to kind of run through this so we can get back to Vision Pro stuff, there are a set of articles that you can find in the show notes. Apple Insider, M5 Apple Vision Pro versus Samsung Galaxy XR, processing power versus AI. There's Next Reality, Samsung Galaxy XR versus Apple Vision Pro, the battle revealed. And then another one from Next Reality, Samsung Galaxy XR beats Vision Pro display at half the price. And then we get into Dave's favorite section. Always brings a smile to his face. Patents.
Always happy to hear about them.
Interesting. Trying to chase these things down now because they're all on X. X is basically taken over as a repository for Patently Apple. So the first one is to consider. I have to take a shower after I download these things from X. Dirty boy. Apple reinvents gesture input for AR VR with sensor-based pose detection. So apparently you have to do some poses. The system determines whether the inside of the wrist is facing the shoulder using vector calculations between the wrist, elbow, and shoulder points. And you can see some, if you go to the article or if you look at the graphics in it, you can see the vector points that are being looked at. Anybody want to speculate on this one?
I mean, they're trying to have a lot of the hand gesture functionality without perhaps a neural band, like some competitors are doing to have input for their glasses. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to use to capture these vectors. Maybe an Apple Watch. That's one point, but how do you get the shoulder and then the elbow relationship? Because I'm not about to put a sensor on my elbow and my shoulder or something. Maybe you can derive part of the shoulder from the glasses you're wearing, but you can see that, but you can see where they're trying to go here.
So it wouldn't be coming from just the cameras that are in the device.
Yeah, because it mentions it's trying not to use computer vision. So it's like, well then how? Right? Like Apple Watch or but then where do they do other points? No idea.
Yeah. Second article here is Apple files a patent that details nose bridge eye tracking system for smart glasses. So they're going to have cameras. From this, it looks like there's cameras on the bridge and then cameras on the frame on the nose. Interesting.
I thought that was very clever. I took off my glasses when I read that, and I was like, wait a minute, they can't put a camera there. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I thought a little hard. I'm like, oh, yeah, they could. That's a really good spot, actually. Like, and then that just solidifies to me that their smart glasses might not, like, I don't like the footies on the nose that are like, like what Eric has. I think I don't like that style.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother used to wear those glasses with like sheepskin or whatever it was on the pad, so she wouldn't get indents in it. Last one is Apple wins patent. So this was, I don't know if it was a dispute, but Apple wins patent for supplemental mirror system that could boost immersion in future Apple headsets. Cadiopic optic lens assembly combines lens elements, partially reflective layers, wave patterns, polarizers to manage light paths efficiently. And the figure on this makes absolutely no sense to me.
Me either, but I'm excited to see all the display research and innovations lately. It really is all bound to displays. We have compute, we need displays, and I think we're getting close to the displays being really good, like there. And now I think the next will be input, which we just talked about input a little bit.
So that ends the patent section of the show. So we can all take a deep breath. Let's. Dave's had a rough show. He just got in a half hour ago, and then we're talking about Galaxy until his ears start bleeding, and now we're doing patents. Dave, this one's just for you.
I love patents. Don't worry. I don't want you to think I don't.
Yeah, well, my dad was a mechanical engineer, so some of that, I guess, is rubbed off on me. I like to look at him and go,
that's okay.
How are they going to make that thing work? So this next article was something that kept popping up, and it was essentially a blog post. I saw it and read it, but this guy had to downgrade his Vision Pro. I had to downgrade my Vision Pro from Vision OS 26.1 to 26.0.1 today. This occurred 3 days ago. So I've got some news for him. He's going to have to upgrade the 26.1.
Yeah. And he spent the $299 for his developer strap.
Yeah. First thing is buy a developer strap. And I clicked on the stupid reasons. Seems there's a bug in Vision OS 26.1 where the first time You connect the new developer strap, you get a glorious 20 gigabytes per second connection. Then all subsequent connections are stuck at USB 2 480. And we can talk more about this particular dilemma that he had, but I was reading Reddit this afternoon when Eric said, "Hey, 26.1 has come out," and so I'm like, "Well, let me go and read what people on Reddit were saying about it." And the big question at that time was, does this fix the developer strap issue? And according to a Reddit post, it doesn't. So the drop. Eric, do you know any more about that, or can you explain that a little bit more?
I don't have the new version of the developer strap, and I don't have an M5. So, yeah. So other than kind of glancing at it and seeing, yep, it's an issue. So basically, you get a momentary view at a faster connection and transfer speed, and think that life is all wondrous and glorious, and you can envision all of the things you're going to be doing, and then you can't.
Okay.
I'm guessing at some point they will fix it. I don't think they saw the problem fast enough to get the fix in this version.
So do you still have the unboxed old developer strap?
Yeah, because I didn't make it into town fast enough.
Oh.
I might go in and ask anyway, but even if I have the new developer strap, I don't have the M5. So I'm not sure it totally matters.
So you're just going to keep that boxed?
Go ahead. It's at least compatible. It might not be able to. I mean, technically, I don't see why I wouldn't. But yeah, you have to find out.
Well, it worked. It works, but it sounds like you don't get the high speed connection because you need the faster processor.
Yeah. So is your plan not to go into town and try and return it? Just keep it boxed up like a precious, precious Star Wars toy?
Yeah.
Well, so I tell you, the issue is this. I'm thinking, okay, it's $300. I should return it and get the better cable. But what is the chance that I walk in, I try the M5 and end up spending $3,500 to save myself $3?
So the answer to the question is yes, you're going to keep it boxed up like a precious, precious Star Wars toy.
Yeah, and then try not to get an M5. I mean, if something happened, like my device stopped working, yeah, I would open it in a heartbeat. But I figure there's still a chance I can argue for it if I go into town. So yeah, I'll give it a few more days and then I'll give it a try.
A couple of more stories, and I'm going to kind of let Eric take over, or Daniel, to talk about the developer program that Apple held this week with Vision Pro. And with the M5 Vision Pro launch week. The 2-day opportunities for developers to meet. Do you have anything on that?
Actually, I didn't know that was going on. I would have.
Oh, you'd enjoy it.
Closely at it. Yeah.
You can still see it. It's still on YouTube.
Yeah, I was going to say. I imagine it's on YouTube or something, or on the developer website.
So it was nice because on one of the days they went through a bunch of the content that Apple did, like the concerts or like the show with sharks,
Shark Tank,
and went through and gave background on difficulties they had creating the content, kind of some neat things you might not have noticed, and then kind of showed you how they did it, what they looked for. And difficulties would be things like you put a camera on a tripod and it mattered if the tripod foot was pointed forward, or you had the 2 feet in front and the pointed one towards the back, because the field of view was wide enough that you would get, if it was pointed forward, you would get a tripod foot. Or if you have people helping hold mics or whatever, the numbers of times you'd have a foot that shows up in the middle of content because of the wide field of view, stuff like that. And then how do you move the content through the tool chains to process it, to deal with the sound? It was really neat. They covered things like if you're doing an immersive scene, it doesn't work as well if it's just silence. So you have an immersive scene and you might need like some background sound. So when they took a camera out and were filming in a tropical jungle, it was neat, but it was not really immersive. It needed some additional sound. So they were able to drop in some additional sounds of insects or sounds of birds, and put them at specific points within the soundscape. And that made a huge difference. Things like if you're near water, having the wave crashing background noise when you're looking at the beach scene, that made a huge difference into whether or not you could believe that you're actually there. And then you layer in other things on top of that. We did the Normandy beach, the D-Day video that we covered. They went through that again and kind of showed kind of the layerings of how you did everything. And if you're going to have a section where you can pick up items and look at them and move them around, having indications that you can in fact pick something up and move it around was important. And so they cover that. So basically what to do, kind of lots and lots of hints on what they learn for people that are producing content. And lots of mentioning about if you produce content for the Vision Pro, you can reproduce that content for other devices as well, because you already have it at the highest quality point. You can knock it down a little bit and then send it out for other devices. And then they were looking at some standards for how to produce content that's going out to large numbers of people. So if you want to have, a stadium's worth of people watching your content, 5,000 people, the current standards don't give hinting about what's coming up fast enough to be able to adjust for everybody in the stream. There's not enough time. So doing some adjustments so you can hint that there's a scene change coming up, or some piece of content is coming up more than 30 seconds in the future, so that you don't end up with a case where the hint about what's coming up happens after it already happened because of lag in the stream. So definitely hinting at working for, if we're going to outfit a whole stadium with cameras, how do we then get that content out to people who want to view it? And it's not solved yet, but that's coming up. And then some more coding stuff. Lots and lots and lots of people there. What was the other thing they did? The scenes that you get, the Jupiter one and the one where you're on top of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I never realized until I watched that if you like the top of the mountain, if you shout out like echo or whatever, it actually echoes and comes back. And then there are like two different mountain scenes, and the echoes are different based on which one you're in. The moon one doesn't echo. which I guess that makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But somebody went to the effort of thinking, okay, if you're standing here and you shout out somebody's name or whatever, it should bounce back and echo back at you, and it does, and it does differently. So, and evidently there are a couple other things like that. And I haven't had a chance to try all of them, but I'm going back and looking at it. So that was fun too. So they dropped like little hints like that.
In some ways, immersive video creators will almost be creating like video game like cutscenes, because like just even the audio, you have to. Foley artists are going to have a heck of a time. Like, okay, I have to make this sound, but it's coming from behind this thing over here, and then how that sound actually is going to echo and whatever. So I don't need to make the sound like it's coming from there. The technology will do that, so I just need to make the sound. But now I have to have this 3D representation of my video film so I can place the sound in that position in the world.
But we already, I mean, Apple already has some of that with spatial audio.
Yeah. I mean, and I think actually what I'm saying would be more if it was like an artificially made scene as opposed to one filmed. So like something animated, or just something. Well, I mean, just straight up composited in one way or another, where it was not using original audio.
Yeah. Well, and it, they were showing examples from some of the immersive videos that Apple released, saying, yeah, when they did that, there were points where you added audio that put things in a specific spot. If you turn your head, you can tell kind of where it is. And it made a difference whether you had it there or you didn't have it there, as to whether or not you believed that you were there. So there's quite a bit of talent, and it does a lot to sort of explain why you get the scene the way it is, and why it's not just open-ended. As well as they covered things like if you have a scene and then you have another scene, that fading to black before you go to the other scene keeps you from getting sick. If it's a very different scene, it gives your brain time to sort of reorient. So that has been interesting.
Okay, I'm going to try and get us to a close on the show. And for that reason, I'm going to skip a few things that are in our query for stories or for articles. And there were a couple of things that you posted, Eric, that I wanted to have you talk about. Small touch. What's your favorite small touch hidden detail that you've discovered while using the Vision Pro? And what is this? Is this
so? And basically, it was a Reddit post, and then people have been responding to it. However, the first one they talk about, where when you go to kind of recenter your vision, if you tilt your head slightly one way or the other, you can kind of adjust, fine tune, adjust what the horizon is, which was really kind of interesting. Or like if you tilt your head while you're positioning a window, you can adjust the window left or right a little bit. And there are times when that makes sense, like you're leaning against a sofa or something, and you don't want it flat against the actual floor. You want it adjusted for where your head is. So that was neat. Instead of having to use your fingers to do a screenshot, being able to ask the S lady to take a screenshot. We've mentioned that before, but that's still is one of my favorites. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. Do you have any other particular things you've discovered?
No,
What was the other one? Oh, using a Magic Keyboard with the finger sensor. If you're doing a virtual display, that has been kind of nice.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unlock your. Is it unlocking? Is it paired to the Mac?
It's paired to the Mac. Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of people are just using a laptop, so that's got a sensor in it. So it's just like you're using a laptop with a bigger display. But since I'm using a mini that's located on the other side of the room, you can use your watch for some things, but if you have a sensor, it's faster.
I want to get your reaction to this. This is another one that you posted. Then we'll do a couple of apps for folks who are listening or watching. This one was apparently I bought a 256 gigabyte Vision Pro and then returned it and got a 1 terabyte.
Yeah, the whole what size Vision Pro should you get? And it's sort of a hard question because a lot of it has to do with, well, what is it you're doing? If you're only like using it to watch movies at home and you have a really fast network, it doesn't matter what size you get. Go with something cheap. If you're traveling, however, having enough space on the Vision Pro to take stuff with you might be an important option, especially since, when you get to a hotel, you may not have enough bandwidth to easily grab material and bring it into the headset. So loading it ahead of time can make a difference. Same with having lots of pictures and images and stuff. It might be easier to take it with you than to go grab it.
Yeah, I did a 512, which was the same as my M2. Because I looked at my M2 and looked at, I had 4 or 5 movies downloaded on it that were stored on there. And I was far under 512 on my M2. And I figured, if I need the space, I'll get the space. But I couldn't imagine the article, the guy is like, now I can finally load it up with movies. Well, movies are about 3 or 4 gigabyte. And like, how many movies are you going to put on it in terms of functional use? You're right. I always try to put like 5 to 10 movies on so I have some selection when I'm going on a trip. I will probably watch 2 or 3 of them at the most, unless I'm on a plane and it's a cross-continental plane. Then I'll do 4 or 5. But I don't know why. I don't know how many movies this guy is planning on putting on his Vision Pro.
Well, if he's trying to take everything, that would do it. But if you're trying to take a bunch of immersive movies and a bunch of 3D movies, they take up more space.
Yeah. But still, not. I mean, so a non-immersive movie, a 2D movie, maybe 2.5 gig. An immersive movie, maybe 4 to 5 at the most.
Or 16.
16. What are you watching?
So, like if I'm going out and I'm shooting a bunch of stuff with my phone and then transferring it, I'm pulling back, 16 to 50 gigs of movie data. I haven't edited it all. I just need to go and rewatch it and then figure out what sections I want. That takes up a ton of space. Once you're done editing it, it's smaller. But if he's just watching movies, yeah. I mean, it really depends on where he's getting the movies from. The stuff from Apple seems to be optimized pretty well. That's not quite as big. Yeah. If you're downloading stuff from some of the services that are out there, some of those are bigger. if you're downloading some of the online stuff, where somebody's saying, "Oh, hey, I filmed all of this and I have 6 variants of it," those are all around 6 to 8 a
Yeah.
piece.
This guy sounds like he just basically needed the Avengers movies and Harry Potter series.
Yeah. And for that, really, you could even take a drive that has the stuff on it, and then transfer it from your phone to across to your Vision Pro, or transfer from a computer to the Vision Pro. So that doesn't make as much sense to me. But if you're on an airplane and you want to watch a bunch of stuff and you can't decide what you're going to be in a mood for.
Yeah, I think in that scenario, I don't think buying more and having more options is actually your solving a problem for you. I think your problem is your indecisiveness there.
Well, and then the other spot is if you just want to try out a whole crap ton of apps, because that can take a little bit of rope.
Yeah.
I find myself having to occasionally remove some apps and add different ones, or get rid of some of the audio and video stuff I have to clear off space. But for the most part, the 512 pretty much does it for me. If you're going to look at a used machine, the difference between a 512 and a terabyte isn't that much. It's worth trying to get a terabyte for whatever you would have paid. For if you're buying a new one, I think you really want to look at what you're doing, and 512 is probably 256 or 512 covers it, I think, for most people. Yeah. And you probably will know if it doesn't. The other thing is, if you're buying a brand new machine, you get that couple weeks to try it out, and you can return it and get a different size if that doesn't work.
Okay, let's go to apps. And I first want to mention Matt. I was talking about how I was having trouble last episode that we did trying to get the stylus, the Muse stylus, to work on any apps whatsoever. And so in the chat, the live chat, I get a message from Matt saying, "Hey, Marty, I've got this app that's in testing right now, in test flight. And I'll send it to you. I'll go on." He went on Threads and sent me a link to be able to get it from test flight. It is really, I appreciate it, Matt. Thank you. It gave me a chance to really use the stylus. And, it was exactly what I wanted. I wanted a little contained app where I could do some drawing, that I could test the stylus out without having to go through. And it had some nice settings on it. And it is called Wild Stylus. And actually, I think it's WYLD stylus. And I kept thinking Wild Stallions from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. But it's when I loaded it, it was a WYLD, and I'll have a link that will take you to the steps that are associated with it and how to view it in test flight. Dave has been traveling. He got himself a stylus, a Muse stylus, and I sent him the link for the test flight. And Matt, thank you for doing this. I hope when it finally, play with it, Dave.
I gotta start playing with it.
It is work. I mean, it will be workable, a workable app for you to work with once you get it Bluetooth to the Muse to the headset. It will show up as a functional.
Got to install that too.
You got to put the magic.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy. You're gonna enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah, you are. So Matt, thank you for sending that out. Look out for Wild Stylus. as an app when it comes to the App Store. And if Matt lets me know that, we'll go ahead and announce it on the show. So I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to try my stylus out with your new app. The second one is I noticed, but Eric kind of put it up as an app. It is called Swiss Alpine Quest. Discover Switzerland for free.
It's an interesting app. Have you had a chance to try playing it?
No, I haven't. No, not today.
So you
Tell me.
get scenes from Switzerland. So it'll show, a scene from a scenic spot or a town or whatever. And I really need to go back and read the instructions and the rules because I didn't. I said, why would I need to do that? But basically, you're staring at this wonderful depth scene. It looks good. That would be good all on its own, and you could like swipe through different parts of Switzerland. But you can't just swipe through to get to the different scenes. You have to collect enough coins and treasure to get past the scene you're on to the next one. So coins keep streaming out at you, and you hold your hand and grab the coins or touch the coins and the chests. And there's like 4 things, and so you get kind of a workout, and the reward is the next view of the scene. I will say there are, I believe, bombs. Don't catch those. Skip
bombs
because
what did you say?
They explode. Yeah, like little round circular things with a fuse on it, and when you touch them, they just explode. Don't touch those.
Generally good, well advised.
It probably should have a warning on it that there are bombs involved because there's some people that might be a bit much. The catching the coins and things, okay. I don't know if there's a mode where you can sort of cheat and just view the scenes and skip the swinging arms around trying to catch objects. But it got me to go through and try a couple times. I made it through 2 different scenes. Evidently, my targeting is not very good. And and then I was doing a software, an OS update, and so I didn't get a chance to finish. So I will even go back and play a little bit more just because now I'm curious.
Okay.
And this time I'm going to read the instructions.
So Gary, don't download this now while on the plane. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, don't.
Yeah.
There are many options, so definitely give it a shot.
Yeah. Last one is something I played with today and realized, first of all, for those of you who are looking at the video portion of this came up as I was searching for this app as a big surprise. Have you guys seen this? Have I just been out of the loop? apps.apple.com/us/app. And it has like a pull down menu for whatever device you want to do searching for. And sure enough, it has a vision quality, vision.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
convenient.
remarkable. So yeah, for searching different things, and I noticed this because this app also has iPhone, iPad, and Mac versions of it, along with Vision Pro. And for me, a daily planner. It's Finalist Daily Planner, a habit and schedule organizer. It has, I think, for a year, it's $29. But you can try it out for free, and it will pull in your calendar. It will pull in your reminders. It will give you space if you want to journal. But for me, fully integrated across all of the platforms is important. If I'm going to try and use some type of planner, it's got to be on all my devices. So looks interesting, and it's available, the Finalist Daily Planner, and they have some screenshots of it. of things that you can do, and this is just the Vision Pro view of it. So, for me, having an app that I can put some money into to get some time to load it on all the platforms that it's available on, get all the calendars set up to be able to run it, is just an excuse for me not to get any work done. Set up the whole system and then just not do the work anyways. But I will give this a shot. I hadn't heard of this in the other platforms and saw that it was part of the Vision Pro platform scenario now. So,
Yeah, it's not
that's what. Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, that's what we got for this week in terms of apps. And thanks to folks in the chat room. Gary's been with us on the flight, and he's planning on staying away from the Switzerland game with the bombs. He just mentioned that in the chat room.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would be safe-ish.
Okay, so let's find out where we can find folks. David, tell us where we can find you.
Well, when I'm not traveling, I'm back here on Mondays, Vision Profiles. But you can find me on my website. It's In Touch with iOS, intouchwithios.com. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/intouchwithios. Like I said, here on Mondays, Tuesdays on Mac Voices Live, Fridays on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network, then Blue Sky, Mastodon. I'm at Blue Dave G65, and thanks.
Hey, you have got to be tired.
I am.
You have got to be tired. I hope you have a good rest tonight. Eric, what about you?
Yeah. When I'm not outside attempting to, get somebody to cooperate with a camera, I'm here Mondays on Vision Profiles, Tuesdays on Mac Voices, and Thursdays on In Touch with iOS. So basically migrating through the different OSs throughout the week.
Daniel, you are busy work and all the stuff going on in your life. We're glad to have you here for this. Tell us where folks can find you.
You can find me here every other week or so, and otherwise, I'm on. It's called Blue Sky. I had to remember what it's called. The name is IO Expander. Yeah.
And me, you can find me here on Vision Profiles on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@visionprofiles. The shows are all on all the podcast services as you like. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with Chuck Joyner on Mac Voices. Thursdays with Dave on In Touch with iOS, also 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And a couple of other shows and things that I'm involved in, you can find at thepodtalk.net, where I have links to the shows that I'm involved in and some fun stuff that we're doing. Just did another show with my son. We have been kind of silent for a while on Gear Up and Go, and we did a show on. We had a listener say, "When are you going to do this show?" Because he said, "Will you do a show on this?" And it was on local transportation apps. So how do you get around where you get to when you get to a place? It included scooters, it included electric bicycles, and it included, transit apps that people can use. So it was nice to do that show, another episode with him on Gear Up and Go. Thank you for tuning in. We'd love to hear from our listeners. If you have ideas or want to join an episode, email us at visionprofilespodcast@gmail.com. Our bumper music is Free Jazzy by Steve Combs, courtesy of the Free Music Archive. Learn more about us in the Vision Profiles podcast at the website, thepodtalk.net. Spread the word to other visionaries. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.